Alright, so welcome to Nick's project, Chuck. This is where we're going to install LED headlights and LED fog lights. We got this set off of Amazon. They're made by a company known as JKU. They do come with instructions. The instructions are very poor, so not the best of instructions. That's why it'll be very important that you watch a video or something like this, although it's not really that hard of a job. So in the box, you're going to get 2 of the headlights. These do not have the halo ring. They'll just be the LED lights themselves. You'll get a fog light, 2 fog lights, nicely wrapped. And it's going to come with this set already together. It's going to be one end that's the splicing end, and one end that's the plug end. For the Jeeps, you actually don't need the splicing end. You're going to take that off. And you're going to use the other plug that they give you, because this will actually be a factory plug-in. So that's kind of nice. Alright, so replacing the headlights is really easy. Replacing the fog lights is a little more challenging than the others. What you'll need for this project, you'll need a flashlight, scissors, Phillips screwdriver, flathead, tape, 2 zip ties, and a T15, so Torx 15. I like using the bit handles, it's easier. Alright, so moving on to the install. So have your hood open. First thing you need to do is you need to remove this grill. You'll have to remove all these plastic pieces, so which we already kind of did. So go ahead, you're going to take your flathead screwdriver, get underneath where the group is, push it forward, pull it out, and then just rip out the rest of it and set it off to the side. So again, you're going to do that for all of them. And then from there, you're going to pull down and out the grill like this. And you'll see there's clips, so you might have to give it a little bit of a tug, but don't be too tuggy, as these you'll have to remove before you stretch the cord. So you simply turn down, pulls out. Turn down, pulls out. And then set this aside. Remember, it is painted. Alright, so the next step, to remove the headlight, you'll see that there are a bunch of T15 screws. So there's 4, so you're going to remove all 4. Being careful, making sure they don't fall down. The ring comes off separately. Set that off to the side. Pull out the light. And then you're going to push this red piece back, push down the tab, and separate the 2. And then you set it off to the side. This is your old. To install the 7-inch round light. Alright, I normally like to keep the wrapper on first. You're going to plug this end in to the green end. Alright, the other end is going to go into the green end of the vehicle. And unfortunately, these will not, you will not hear a click. Alright, so that's why we have the zip tie. So you're going to take the zip tie with the scissors. And you're going to prevent it from, if you hit any bumps, from the headlight unplugging itself. And unfortunately, this is my 3rd pair of aftermarket LED headlights. All of them have been at less than $300. and all three of them have been this exact same style that I'd have to zip tie. So no way around it, unfortunately. I don't know if the almost $1,000 pairs, like the KCs, if they're any better or not, but that's what we have, unfortunately. So at that point, you have an option to, I like to normally tape these kind of connections together. So we're gonna tape them together. Just that way they're a little snug, nothing getting in, because they're not really exactly waterproof. But it's totally up to you what you want to do. And then again, you could do some cable management with zip ties if you wanted. These cables really, I don't see the need for that. There's not really that much excess. The other thing that you'll notice about this style light is there are 3 grooves. When you look at them, they do match up kind of on these. 2 of them match up. The third one is kind of half. And again, this is the 3rd pair I've had, and all 3 are the same. You'll have most of them fit, and one of them just a tad off. Off the plastic. Next, you're going to take your ring, you're going to put it back on, line it up. And then you're going to put the screws back in. Okay, and there you have it. That's the headlight installed. Now if you're getting fog lights, or if you're getting those halo lights will require you to splice in to your turn signal. So, if you're doing the halo lights, normally there's a green and a red wire, depending on what they tell you on the instructions. Your power for the turn signals on this far one right here, opposite of the black wire. And then your other one's going to be the ground for the black wire. And you'd have to splice into those if you decide to do those. Again, that's if you want to do the lights with the halos. Alright, that's for most of them. Some of them do have a box that goes back up to the battery. So now if you're doing the fog lights, there are 2 little plugs that go into your little dam right here in between the frame. I call it the frame cover. So you need to remove those. And then from there, you can either pry this out, or what I did was I moved it the whole way to one side so I'll be able to easily get out the fog light, because there's not much room to get that out. So we'll have to crawl under to get out the fog light. There are 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You able to see? Give me a second.
So you remove the 4 screws. So 2 on each side.
I hope they can see.
What?
I hope they can see.
Yeah, we're hoping you can see because there's not much room in here. Let's come over to your side.
All the room or what?
Alright. Stand by.
Yeah, go.
Alright, so right here it is. So the plug you have to undo here is simply a click and you pull right out. So this is where it gets interesting because you can't pull out the fog light from the back. You have to do it from that top. That's why we removed that air dam / frame cover. Okay. So what you're going to want to do is you want to bring this forward and back as much as possible. You're going to bring this back, push it down a little bit, and then you pull it right out. The other way would be to pull off the whole bumper, and you can get them all right there, especially if you're doing a bumper install. This would be a great time to replace them. But that's the easiest way without removing the bumper. Then to install the other, you just go opposite, and again right here is where all the bolts are. So bolts up top, a little plug down there in the bottom. When you're actually in there, you'll see that. And again, I have the direct plug plugged already up. The adjusting screw is going to go on the bottom, so it'll look like this if you're staring from the top. So like that. Then you take it in, push it back. Then we're going to go back under to install the fog light. Again, 4 screws. Go ahead, pause it. Alright, so as you can see right in there are all the screws. There's 4 of them. You need to take them out. They're just Phillips. And you can see right beneath the top screws there are pins for you to line up the fog lights. Again, adjustment screw is on the bottom. You plug in the light harness, and then you're all done with the fog lights. So then we can return back to the top of the Jeep. Now we're done underneath. One note to make is that the driver's side is a little bit more difficult as there is a part that's in the way. So you'll need to have a stubby screwdriver. But as you can see right here, maybe the EGR valve, something of that sort, whatever it is, vacuum actuator, that's what's in the way. So you'll need a stubby for that. And then you'll push back in the pins, which I'll do at another time because I have to run to the hardware store, get replacements, as the old ones kind of stripped and were a little bad. Other than that, it's time to put the rest of the Jeep back together. Do that, you take your grill face, you line it up, you put back in the lights, for the turn signals. Twist. And twist. And then you line them up to the little slots. And you tap them in. One underneath each light. All down the bottom. And then you stick these pins back in. And then let me go ahead and show you what they look like. So there they are on low beams. And beams. Now you would want to double check because you may have to readjust your lights based on from factory or whatever setup you're coming from. There's a little silver screw that's in that bezel that these sit into, and that's what you turn to go up or down. Alright, you turn it in or turn it out based on what you need to do. Most of the times though, the 3 pair I've had, they're dead on when you put them back in if you haven't messed with it before. Again, driving at night, these kind of styles are a lot better, a lot brighter than others. I'll go ahead and let you know how they work later. Thanks for watching.